So, if you're watching this, there's a chance you've seen a ridiculous clip or two of Indian cinema floating around on the internet. A lot of it is pretty ridiculous. So, this gave me an idea. Why don't I watch the worst rated Bollywood movie on IMDb and see just how bad it can get? So, I watched it, all 2+ hours of it, and now I'm going to tell you about it. So the movie is called Deshdrohi, which translates to sort of like a traitor or an anti-patriot of sort, and it's filled with a bunch of actors that you've never heard of, so let's just go ahead and move on. So I already mentioned that this movie is the worst rated movie on IMDb at a whopping 1.2 stars out of 10. The user reviews aren't really much better. Lots of 1 out of 10s. Maybe this guy really enjoyed it. But the controversy doesn't stop there. This movie was actually so bad that it was actually banned in the state of Maharashtra, which for those of you outside of the sort of circle of Indian subcontinent knowledge, it's the state in which Mumbai or Bombay is located in. I'll kind of explain why that is later. It'll kind of maybe start to make sense once we dive into the movie a bit. But for now, let's just go ahead and get started. So the movie opens up with a scene of our main character running, and honestly, it looks like this guy hasn't run a day in his goddamn life. It's pretty dramatic, so you know what? Maybe we'll be in for something good. We find out later in the movie that this is our main character running away from his family to catch a train to Mumbai. We'll just go ahead and assume he bought his ticket and checked the train schedule in advance for this sweet entry onto the train here. We then cut over to this man and woman standing at a vendor stall on the street talking weirdly loudly about the fact that they're selling drugs to kids in colleges and making a lot of money off of it. Not really sure what that's about, and to be honest, it doesn't come up again at any point in the movie, so who cares? Anyways, we then cut to a group of gangsters who start extorting all of these street vendors for money. They also begin to really aggressively eat and drink whatever the vendor is selling, I guess as an intimidation factor. In fact, it's a little hard to hear, but this guy walks up to the stall and asks the vendor, "What is this?" holding a potato. Which might explain why a bunch of the guys in the back just start eating them raw. Eventually they make their way to this guy who was talking earlier about the drugs, and he claims that he no longer has any money to give them because of some lady named Sonia. They proceed to beat his ass, and we can only assume at this point that Sonia has laid some kind of trap and has lured these guys in and was listening in to know when to make this sweet ass motorcycle entry. She comes through and starts beating the shit out of everyone.
चेहरे पे इतनी रवानगी और भोलापन, मारपीट में नंबर 1.
She drops her handkerchief, and this guy decides, hell yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. Which, this then cues the first song of many in this movie. This next scene is a way too many minutes long segment on basically how everyone in Mumbai who's selling you stuff is a total scumbag and are going to try to extort every bit of money out of your pocket. Here, this street vendor is trying to coerce our main character into giving him more money than what he was owed. He gets really upset about it, threatens to beat him up, whatever, who cares? At this point, I guess we have a flashback to his time in the village where he has this extremely avoidable accident with this lady here. He then gets really upset that he dropped his goods because now his dad's going to be really upset, and this is just setting up how much of a scumbag his dad is, which will eventually set up his departure to Mumbai. Also, this guy's an asshole. You definitely could have avoided this collision. Anyways, this scene's just supposed to set up how much of an asshole this guy's father is because he's so worried about him. Basically, he's going to beat his ass about the fact that he dropped all of this stuff that he was carrying. Again, You learn how to ride your goddamn bike, you liar. We are then introduced to Shekhar, which is our main character's best friend. I guess he's back in the village visiting from after having moved to Mumbai. He starts talking up a big game about how rich he is, and that's all cool and fine, but aren't you missing a bit of Bollywood music action right now? Oh, you're not? Too bad. Song time. We're then introduced to the main character's grandfather, who, other than passing away later in the movie to make us feel bad, serves absolutely no purpose to the plot. So I'm just going to go ahead and glance over all of these filler scenes. At this point, we cut over to our main character with this girl, bicycle girl, at college, which nobody had mentioned before or after this point, so I have no idea what he was studying or why he was here, or where the hell this is. Who cares? It's song time. We then have to watch another scene about how shitty Mumbai is and how everyone's out to try to get you. I'm again going to spare you the pain and move past this garbage. Somehow he gets thrown out of the bus, conveniently right in front of the path of Sonia, who was motorcycle chick earlier, riding her bike along the same road in the middle of nowhere. Obviously the director doesn't care, so do you really care? No. He then eventually finds his friend who moved to Mumbai to find out that, oh, big surprise, he's not actually doing so hot for himself. He just works as like a watchman. We then cut to even more filler garbage about how this guy's grandfather's died. It's really sad. He won't get to see him fulfill his dream. His dad's still a scumbag. He runs in a bicycle chick again, which I'm telling you, man, you don't know how to ride a bike. Stop lying to us. At this point, this is the sort of scene that's the catalyst for him running in the beginning of the movie where he gives up and runs to the train station. Let's move on. At this point, he's trying to find a job in Mumbai, decides to go work for this guy's vegetable stall for free. So, not really sure how that's going to help him at all, but whatever. Immediately, some guys show up to try to beat him up, get some more money out of him. It's Mumbai, right? That's what everybody does there. According to this director and writer, whoever wrote this, Sonia shows up conveniently again, so I have to presume she's just everywhere and always. She's Big Brother Sonia. She beats the shit out of everyone, so don't even know why they bother at this point. Oh, plot twist, they actually grab her this time and point a gun at her. What does our main character do? He decides it's time to try to stand up for himself. Stand up for what is right. He ends up shooting this guy who was on top of him, and now he thinks he's going to go to prison. He thinks he needs to turn himself into the police because he's done such a bad thing. Again, just to show you how sick our main character is. He's such a good guy. This lady talks him out of it because she's like, that's a stupid idea. Clearly the police are pretty useless in Mumbai. They're not going to find you anyways. We then cut to this scene of this police officer making a deal with some mafia don about killing this guy, our main character here, because it's becoming a nuisance for these bad guys. I'm here wondering why they haven't killed Sonia, because she seems to be a much bigger issue. We then cut to these guys sitting on the couch, and they're tipped off by this guy in a phone booth about this upcoming plan for the police officer to kill our main character. Now, this guy shows up a bunch of times throughout the movie, and I have no idea who he is, how he keeps knowing what's going to happen. I mean, I literally think the writer was like, guys, we need a way for our good guys to stay ahead of the bad guys, so let's just throw in this guy who always knows what's going to happen at any time. He'll always call him up at exactly the right moment. He just lives at this phone booth or wherever he is, and we'll be good to go. Our good guys now start running away from the cops now that they know they're going to be after them, and of course they run into some other guy getting beat up by more people from Mumbai. Total scumbags, am I right, guys? And this and a bunch of other scenes throughout the movie, there's this prevalent theme. I already talked about how Mumbai is shown to be a city full of scumbags. There's also this very overt message of, you people from North India who keep coming to our city are causing all this ruckus. You know when earlier I mentioned that this movie was banned in the state of Maharashtra, which is where Mumbai is? Not that I agree with the fact that it was banned, but you can kind of see what was the sort of premise behind that. It's a lot of misrepresentation of how the government obviously feels about their state and how they want it to be portrayed. I should clarify, though, that the movie is no longer banned. I don't know how long it was, but I think it was only a few months or maybe a year. Eventually, they run back into this cop who was chasing them down, and he holds them at gunpoint. He has that awesome villain monologue before he decides to pull the trigger. And, of course, this Sonia lady's mute brother decides to step in and sacrifice himself. I didn't introduce him because who cares? He was just a body. At this point, our main character is now super upset, throws some dirt in his eyes.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
The fight ensues, he grabs his gun, and then he proceeds to just mow this guy down with bullets. Then 4 more cops show up unarmed, and this guy just mows down all of them. I mean, are we sure this guy is the good guy? At this point, he's now murdered a couple bad guys, murdered 4 cops who were completely innocent. And for whatever reason, this girl's cool with it and says we're destined to be together, which I don't really know why these girls are falling heads over heels for this guy. But I want whatever cologne he's wearing. They then go over to Sonia's aunt's house, at which point there's another song. Sonia then ends up heading over to, I guess, this pundit's place, who she's always trusted as a friend ever since she was a kid. And of course, this guy immediately betrays her and shows that he's been working for this mafia don this whole time. Not really sure why he chose to now announce that after all these years. We have to assume that Sonia's been causing this guy trouble for more than just today before she met this guy, because everyone knew who she was. But I guess now that she's with this guy, it's time to, blow the cover and let's bring her into the boss. Whatever. So now at this point, this guy's about to kill them both, but I don't know, I guess out of a stroke of goodwill, because apparently the main character has more of an evil heart than this mafia boss. He decides to spare them if this main character goes and kills some other politician guy. We're then introduced to the politician he's about to kill, who's again talking about this whole northern Indian and central Indian conflict. Blah, 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 blah. You don't care. I don't care. The director at this point, I don't know. He's just going crazy, I guess. Really had a bad day in Mumbai. It's like going to New York, running into a homeless man in the subway station, and then making a movie about how everyone in New York is out to get you. Calm down. So, at this point, the politician looks like he's going to be a good guy. Wow. There's like one good politician in this whole city. Great. I don't even know it. Then our good guy here just mows down a bunch more people. Now they're running away, and the politician somehow conveniently finds them again in his car, and he's like, hey, hop in, you'll be safe in my car. And now we're introduced to the next plot twist. Ooh. Turns out Mr. Watchman, best friend of our main character, is actually the super sick killer in underground Mumbai. And he works for, guess who? The same mafia boss. And guess who orders this guy to go kill this guy? The mafia boss. Oh, at this point, this movie's already dragging along, so both the lady and our main character are in this car, where he assures them is very safe. Lo and behold, this guy somehow already figured out which route they were taking, and our best friend shows up in front of the car in the middle of the night to kill our man. Of course, our man's an idiot, doesn't realize what's going on. He decides to get out and greet his friend, and then his friend shoots him. End of the movie. Or you wish it was, because with what looks like 5 bullets in this guy's body, and supposedly no one willing to take him to the hospital because everyone in Mumbai sucks. Anyways, this lady wagons him on this stupid dolly into the hospital. Then, of course, the hospital's like, oh my God, we're not going to work on him because you have to file a police report. Mumbai sucks, am I right? Oh my God. Thankfully, this girl can use her sick intimidation tactics, and all of a sudden this guy's like, okay, I'll bring him into the operating room, I guess. Then we cut back to Mr. All-Knowing, I'm chilling at the same spot for the last 5 days guy. And he tells them that there's something going on at some hotel later that evening. I don't even know why anybody's going there. I'm pretty sure this scene is completely irrelevant other than the fact that they needed to shove in another song. Right?
Hotel Peninsula Grand, sham 4 baje.
So of course this guest entertaining some scummy VIP politician has a lot of police who are, at this point, if you thought they were going to be competent at all, you haven't been paying attention to the movie, because these are Mumbai cops, which means they totally suck. And this guy holding a gun up in the air like some kind of lunatic while he runs around the building is completely unnoticed by everyone. He then does this completely unnecessary jump down from the top. We get this scene of this guy shooting the shit out of this guy. Then introduces some more garbage characters. Who cares? All this is led up to introduce is the fact that this politician that we thought was super holy is also corrupt and a scumbag. Did you expect anything less? This shows up in the papers. I don't even know why or who was taking photos of this. Anyways, it's in the paper, and our main character now finds out that this politician that he thought was super sick is a total scumbag. Blah, 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 blah. So now that we know this politician's bad, we cut over to this scene of him telling our best friend of the main guy to go kill him now. It's time to fulfill his job. Which, let's be clear that this guy who had a very clear opportunity to kill this man last time I saw him and decided to shoot him in, I guess, 5 of the most survivable places you can shoot someone, and not just shoot him in the head or just do something else to make sure that it's done. We're hiring this guy again because I guess we're just out of killers here in Mumbai. But, just wait, because then this priest guy comes into the scene and I guess is basically told to now kill this guy, the best friend killer guy. So this best friend finds these two just hanging out somewhere in the middle of the night for whatever reason. No reason, really. Probably should be hiding inside, but whatever. He finds them there, and then after a very menacing entrance of, oh my god, you're dead, your time is up, our main character doesn't really say anything, and this guy just completely 180s, is like super sorry, and now wants to help him out. Cool, I guess. Very heartwarming. Now this priest guy shows up. Very good timing again, and shows up with a bunch of other guys who all get beat up, and then this guy gets shot to shit. Cool. All right, he's dead. Next. Now we cut to a scene of this cop guy trying to kill our main character here, because, I mean, do you really care why? I don't. And as our main character is about to kill him, we then find out that his old love interest from his village is now married to this guy, which, I mean, yeah. So this whole event has caused our cop here to suddenly have a change of heart, and now he's going to help out our friend. And then we cut to a scene of our best friend now playing double agent and telling this bad guy to send his bad guys to a location where our main character is, but of course he's not actually there. And thank God that our mafia guy is very slim on bad guy resources, because he sends everyone, including what I presume is a security detail in his house that he should probably have, Mr. Target on his back mafia boss. He sends literally everyone to go kill this guy, leaving our two good guys to now kill him. A fight ensues. This guy ends up pulling out a gun after, I guess, fake drowning, and shoots our best friend. At this point, you're probably supposed to feel really bad, and it's supposed to feel very tragic, but you probably stopped caring like I did, and if anything, it means the movie's about to end, so that's good. There's some more BS killing that our main character does out the back of a garbage truck, which I guess garbage truck drivers are really cool with aiding and abetting in a murder here, but, you know, it's Mumbai, I guess, right? We then get to what is the last scene of the movie, where our dirty politician is now making a speech on India's Independence Day, and he starts going on about how everything is screwed up right now because of this one guy who then shows up wearing a suicide vest. At this point, he threatens to blow them up with the vest, and that convinces the politician to like confess everything he's ever done. Don't really know how that would go down in real life, but you know, again, movie's about to end, so I'm not going to ask any more questions. There's then another fight scene. This politician tries to get help from this cop who's now good, so he doesn't help him. Our main character then murders this politician again. And at this point, the crowd starts rejoicing, and we get the salute that our old grandpa boy was really looking for. They even flash back to us for us because they know you probably forgot and stopped caring, so it's nice of them to do that. And that's it. The movie ends there. So, in conclusion, what do I think about Deshdrohi? It's pretty bad. It's pretty boring. At least the action scenes are kind of funny, but other than that, definitely wouldn't watch it again. Wouldn't recommend anyone else to watch it. Now, I'll be honest. I was expecting a lot worse. I know this movie sucked, but for 1.2 out of 10 on IMDb, I was expecting a lot worse. While the movie sucks, I do feel like I've seen worse. But either way, the movie sucked. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, I mean, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try to do more videos. I don't really know what I'm doing yet, but I'm just giving this whole thing a whirl. If you have any suggestions on what I can watch, what I can review, other content, how to make this video better, please leave it down below. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.